Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of All in All with Alex. I'm your host, of course, Alex, and today we have a very special guest. I'm gonna let him have the floor and introduce himself and give you all a quick background about himself, and then we'll dive into the questions.
Yes, so my name is Olivier Mankondo. I'm a speaker, author, weight loss and wellness coach. And I've been in this change just because before 2016, my health was pretty bad. I was suffering from a lot of chronic diseases. And just by adopting a plant based nutrition, I was able to really transform my life. And that's why I took that as way now for me to be able to help my brothers and sisters to be able to just do the same. And that's why I'm a speaker, I'm a coach, and I try to help people to basically adopt a plant-based nutrition and to be able to live a disease-free life. So in a nutshell, that's what I do now.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. So let's dive into it. So, what inspired you to start your journey toward? You kind of answered that. So let's do it this one. So were there specific events or moments that led you to adopt a plant based lifestyle outside of? Or was it just the you said you had some kind of life threatening thing happen, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. So what happened is that to answer to that question, I need to be a little bit back in time. So what's happened is that I grew up in Africa. And when I was growing up, there was no computer games, no video games, no stuff like that. So we were forced to play outside, running around, climbing trees, playing football and all that. And at that time as well, I was not exposed to too many animal products, dairy product and processed food. So I was very, very lean. And that's how I grew up. What's happened is that when I left my country, I went to South Africa, where I spent a year, and then I came to the UK. And that's where my problem started because I was exposed to a lot of animal product, a lot of dairy product and processed food, and starting to put on weight. And at my heaviest, my weight was 100 kilos or 220 pounds. And because of that, I'm starting to suffer from a lot of chronic diseases. First of all, I was suffering from high blood pressure, and people need to know that high blood pressure is a very dangerous disease. And 50% of people who suffer from high blood pressure will develop cardiovascular diseases or problem with the kidneys and stuff like that. So I was suffering from high blood pressure. I had massive headaches every day or every other day. And in fact, I had to have some painkillers in my wallet all the time because of that. I had dandruff, chest pain, back pain, abscesses, joint pain, and a lot of dental problems because I did develop a lot of bad eating habits. So, for example, at midnight, I will still have my bottle of Coca-Cola with some biscuits, some cakes, and stuff like that. And that's why I had to go and see the dentist. I think every 2 to 3 months, I had to see the dentist. And on top of that, I was always tired. So, for example, on the day that I had to go to work, I would drag myself out of bed. And on the day where I was not working, I will sleep until 1 p.m. So basically, that's what started me on this plant-based nutrition.
So what was your biggest challenges you faced when transitioning to a plant based diet?
Yeah. So what's happened is that before answering to that question, what's happened is that I went to the doctors because of all the problem that I was facing. I went to the doctors, and the doctor told me that I'll be on medication for the rest of my life. And I didn't like that idea, so I said, no, I'm not going to do that. So he asked me, okay, what are you going to do? I said, okay, I'm going to join a martial club, so that I can try to see if my blood pressure can come down. So I joined a karate club. I was there for 4 years, but my blood pressure didn't change, so it was still high. So I didn't know what else to do. So just one day, out of the blue, I was just watching a program on YouTube, and there was an Indian yogi who suggested that by stopping eating animal product, it was possible to reverse 70% of the chronic diseases. And because my health was pretty bad, I said, okay, I'm going to do that. So it was a Wednesday that I watched the program. On Thursday, I came back to work. From work, I had my last meal of meat. And on Friday, I went cold turkey. And what happened is that after 4 months, I went to see my doctor, who told me that I will be on medication for the rest of my life. And my blood pressure was completely gone. And after 9 months, I was able to lose 77 pounds or 35 kilos. And as you can see, this is the way I used to be before my transformation. And apart from that, I was able to reverse all my chronic diseases. So I don't suffer from high blood pressure anymore, no back pain, no abscesses, no joint pain. Every single ailment is completely gone. And in fact, for the past 8 years, I've not been sick a single day, not even a headache. And for the past 9 years, I've not taken a single pill, not even a paracetamol or aspirin or something like that. And on top of that, I've been able to really to slow down my aging process, because a lot of people, when they see me, they think that I am in my late 20s. But next week, I'm going to be 55. No, not even next week. This Saturday, I'll be 55. So that's how I've been able to go with this. The question that you asked, what was what was difficult? So basically, to change, it was not really difficult for me, because when I decide to do something, I can do that with that, no problems. But what was difficult is the criticism from family and friends. So people started to criticize me, to say a lot of bad things about me, because I lost a lot of weight, and people even started to say that I was HIV positive. So there was no really support from family and friends. That was very difficult for me. But apart from that, the transition itself was really effortless.
But those same people now wishing that they can start on it now.
Yeah, exactly. Because now the same people who used to make fun of me are the same people who come to ask me for advice now, because they can see that for like nearly 9 years I've not been sick a single day, and now the same people who were making fun of me are coming now to ask for advice.
It's crazy. That's usually how it is. So how did you feel like after you done it for a few months? How did you feel? I know you explained how you felt physically, but how did you feel mentally?
Yeah, so first of all, what happened is that because like I said, I went cold turkey, and what happened is that the following week, my situation got worse. I had massive detox symptoms. So I had massive headaches that I've never had for 3 days, that I've never had in my entire life. I started with more cold sore, more abscesses, my joints starting to ache even more. And even here at home, my family, they asked me to stop. But I said, no, I'm going to continue. And what happened is that after a week, all these detox symptoms completely disappeared. And I'm starting to feel a lot of energy, a lot of mental clarity. And that's what people need to understand, is that when you change your way of eating, and just like me, I went cold turkey, and that's why I don't ask people to do that, because when you do that, you go cold turkey, your body start find a lot of energy, and start will go into your tissues and start extracting all of the toxins and dump that in the bloodstream. And that's why a lot of people will start feeling bad, and they will say, okay, it's not working. Eating maybe fruit, vegetables, and all that, it's bad. And when they stop, they start eating back what they used to eat, and the body will stop all these detox symptoms, and they will say, you see, it's the fruit and vegetable which are bad. But what people need to understand is that's the way the physical body detoxify itself. But what happened is that apart from the physical benefit that I was able to reap, starting mentally, it was really like I was a new person. Starting to have, like I said, a lot of mental clarity. I think I became more spiritual. I starting to do a lot of meditation. Are starting to live in the present moment, to do mindfulness and all these things. And basically, what's happened as well is that I've stopped introducing a lot of negativity in my life. And for example, since 2017 up to this day, I've stopped watching TV. I don't watch TV anymore. I don't read news. I don't do all these things, because I don't want negativity to come into my. And because when you look at all the news and stuff like that, and 99% of what they say, it's negativity, it's fear. And I don't want to get that in my system, because when you entertain negative emotions such as fear, anxiety, depression, what will happen is that your body will go into a stress mode. And when your body goes into a stress mode, it's going to produce cortisol in excess, and cortisol will impair your immune system. And that's why a lot of people don't understand why they suffer from depression, they suffer from anxiety and stuff. And it's because of maybe the news that they watch, all the negativity that they introduce in their lives. And that's basically what have changed for me mentally.
So talk a little bit about your 3-step weight loss and wellness program.
Yeah, so for to be able to help people, I do the 3 steps weight loss and wellness program. And the first step is the mindset, because the mindset is very, very important. You can eat the best food that you want, but if you don't have the right mindset, it's not going to work. And what I usually notice is that when people, you tell them that, okay, you're going to adopt a plant-based nutrition where you will have to completely stop eating all the animal product, the dairy product, and most processed food, or you tell them that you're going to reduce that considerably, the first thing that people will say, it's going to be difficult. I'm not going to be able to do it. And when you go with this kind of mindset, it's not going to work, because your subconscious mind is very, very powerful, and it's going to make sure that you fail, because that's what you want. And that's why in my 3-step process, I empower people to be able to adopt a winning mindset, to see that change is possible, and try to make them adopt that mindset where they see that they don't entertain the possibility of failure. So that's the first thing that people have to do. And in this mindset, I ask them as well to surround themselves with a supportive community, because like I said, for myself, I was not really supported, and I want people to be supported, to find themselves in a supportive community. And what they need to understand as well is that when they change their lifestyle, it's not a diet where you do that for a few days or a few weeks. It's a lifestyle change that they need to do. The second step that they need to do is obviously to adopt a plant-based nutrition where they eat fruit, vegetables, legumes, grains, nuts, and seeds, because all these food, they've got lots of fiber. And all this fiber will be able to clean your GI tract. And people need to understand that 70% of the chronic diseases start in the intestine. But when you eat this food, it's going to clean up your intestine and you'll be fine. And when you eat all this food with lots of fiber, it's going to make you full very quickly, and you will tend to eat less frequently. And this will really, really enable people to be able to create a high level of health for themselves. And the last step is to be able to introduce intermittent fasting, because in our culture, we've been told that we need to eat constantly. And people think that it's a good idea to eat too frequently. People will have snacks and all that. But what people need to understand is that when you eat all the time, what will happen is that the body will start producing insulin all the time. And when you have a lot of peaks of insulin, what will happen is that you will have what is called cellular aging. You will start aging very quickly. And when you age very quickly, what will happen? Obviously, you will die very quickly. And what people need to understand as well is that when your body is producing insulin, it will not be able to produce another hormone, which is called the human growth hormone. And the human growth hormone is there to enable the growth of a lot of tissues in the body. And so the body cannot produce the insulin and the human growth hormone at the same time. So you can understand that if you constantly have something to digest, the body will not produce the human growth hormone. And what will happen as well is that when you are constantly digesting food, the body cannot heal and cleanse. The healing and cleansing can only happen when the body is not digesting food. So people can really see that when they are all the time digesting food, they are not doing themselves a favor. And when you do intermittent fasting, the body will go through a process which is called autophagy. And this process is where the body eats its own waste. So people need to see that it's very, very important to adopt this intermittent fasting. And there's even a study where the scientists conducted that study with 2 groups of rats. There were one group which were overfed, and the other group were fed less. And at the end of the experiment, the scientists were able to see that the rat, which we had less food, were able to live up to 50% more than the overfed rat. So what people need to understand really is that the less you eat, the less frequently you eat, the longer you're going to live. So that's basically the 3-step process of my program.
Okay. So, why do you believe plant-based nutrition is the key to optimal life or optimal health? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's the key because when you look at the animal product, the dairy product, and the processed food, people can really see that it's not the food biologically designed for the human mechanism. For example, when you look at the gorilla, with whom we share 99% of the same DNA, which means that our digestive tract are practically the same. But when you look at gorillas, they eat fruit, vegetables, and tender root. They do not eat meat. And when you look at meat, for example, when you look at the bowel transit time, it's the time that certain type of food takes to pass through our system. So, for example, if you eat a piece of fruit, it will take 3 to 4 hours to pass through our system. You eat raw vegetables, it will take between around 12 hours to pass through our system. You eat cooked vegetables, it will take between 24 and 30 hours to pass through our system. But if you eat meat, fish, or chicken, it takes 72 hours or 3 days to pass through our system. And for example, if you take a piece of meat, you leave that outside for 3 days during the summer. When you come back, you will see that that piece of meat will be in a rotting state. You will see maggot, flies, and it's going to stink. And when you look at the internal temperature of a human being, it's 36 degrees centigrade or 98 degrees Fahrenheit, which is hot. So when we eat meat, the same rotting process that happen outside, it's exactly what's happening inside our guts. And that's why you will see a lot of people smell bad, and or they have bad breath. They can brush their teeth as much as they want, but that odor is not going away. Or you look as well, you will see that meat has got no fiber, and it creates constipation. And when you are constipated, all the fecal matter, all the toxins will be reabsorbed into the system. And that's why a lot of people will start suffering from high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, Alzheimer, Parkinson, arthritis, and all the autoimmune diseases where the body destroys itself, like the inflammatory bowel disease, the lupus, the psoriasis, the rheumatoid arthritis, and the list goes on. So just by looking at that, you will see that the animal product, the dairy product, and the processed food are not good for the human mechanism. But when you look at the fruit, vegetables, legumes, grain, nuts, and seeds, this is the food biologically designed for us. And when you eat that, they've got lots of fiber, they've got lots of phytonutrient, they've got lots of nutrient, they've got lots of vitamins, and all these are conducive to good health. And that's why, for example, like I've told you, that I've been able to spend 8 years without being sick a single day just by eating this way. And I've seen a lot of people that I've coached who are able to start living without being sick just because of that. So the plant-based nutrition is really the way to go.
Okay. So, what are some common misconceptions that people have about plant-based diet?
Yeah, so the common misconception is that, first of all, people will tell you, oh, you don't eat meat. Where do you get your protein from? Because what we've been told is that we can only have the protein from the animal product. But the question that I always ask people, I ask them, okay, for example, you look at the gorilla, just like I've said, we share 99% of the same DNA. But gorillas, they do not eat meat. But you can see that they are very powerful. They are very muscular. But where do they get their protein from? They get that from the fruit, the vegetables, and the tender root that they eat. You look at the cow, you look at the rhino, you look at the giraffe, you look at the elephant. They are very, very powerful animals, but they don't eat meat. So they get their protein from the grass that they eat. And that's exactly where I get my protein from. I get that from the fruit, the vegetables, the legumes, the grains, and the seed. So that's the misconception that people have. And for example, if you look, for example, at you take 100 grams of meat, you will see that that 100 gram of meat will have 26 grams of protein. You take the beans, 100 grams of beans, you will see that there's 20 grams of protein. So you can see that there's not much difference between the protein that you can have from the legumes and the protein that you can get from the meat. So people need to understand that even if you don't eat meat, you're still going to have your protein requirement met. And that's why I said for the past 8 years, I've not had any animal product. I don't suffer from protein. I'm not protein deficient. So that's one of the misconceptions. Another one is that when you adopt a plant-based nutrition, you're going to be weak. And that's completely false. And why is that? It's because, for example, when I told you before, when I was eating the animal product and all that, on the day that I had to go to work, I will drag myself out of bed. And on the day that I was off work, I will sleep until 1 p.m. But since adopting this plant-based nutrition, I don't even remember one day where I wake up in the morning and I still feel tired. And what's happening is that when you eat animal product, because it takes too long in the digestive system, it starts rotting. And this rotting process will create a high bacterial activity. And that's why even when you go to sleep, your body will overwork itself, trying to get rid of all these loads of bacteria. And that's why when people wake up in the morning, they will still be tired. And the first thing that they will do is to grab a cup of coffee or some kind of energy drink and stuff like that. So that's basically the misconception that most people have. So when you eat a plant-based nutrition, you're not going to be weak. And for myself, for example, like I said, on Saturday, I'm going to be 55, but there's nothing that I cannot do at my age that I was able to do when I was 20. So I'm still energetic. I've got a lot of strength and all that.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about your book. So what inspired you to write the plant-based nutrition, how it's going to change your life?
Yeah, so in my book, it's divided in 4 parts. So in the first part, I talk about the difference. I would like to. I'm trying to show people that we are frugivores, just like the monkeys, like the bonobos, like the chimp. We are frugivores, and when we look, for example, at compare ourselves with the carnivores, there's nothing which we are not related to carnivores. There's nothing which are the same. But when we look at herbivores, they are practically we've got practically the same digestive system. And that's why I try to show people in the first part of the book that we are frugivores. In the second part, I try to talk about the damage that the animal product, the dairy product, and the processed food, the damage that they create in our health. I try to show people that we are not designed to eat animal product. We can eat that if we want, but we are not designed to eat animal product. We are not designed to eat the dairy product. We are not designed to eat the processed food. And when you look at processed food, for example, they've got lots of additive, coloring, flavoring, preservative, which are chemical substances not recognized by the body, and they create havoc. And when you look at the dairy product, we are the only species in the entire creation to drink milk from another species. For example, you will never see a cat drinking dog's milk or a goat drinking cow's milk, because every milk is specifically its own species. And when you look as well, you will see that we are the only species in the entire creation to drink milk when we are adult. You will never see any grown animal drinking milk. And that's why you will see, for example, 70% of the world population is lactose intolerant. So that's what I try to show people, that we are not designed to eat animal product, dairy product, and processed food. And in the third part of my book, I try to show people, talk about my story. I show people the way I used to be sick, the way I've been able to lose weight, the way I've been able to reverse all my chronic diseases, and the way I've been able to basically create a high level of health for myself. And in the last part of the book, I give people some tips and tricks that they can put in practice so that they can transform their lives. For example, I ask people to stop using the microwave, for example, to stop doing that, because when you eat the food with the microwave, it's going to give people cancer, high blood pressure, and all the stuff like that, reproductive disorders and stuff like that. Or I ask people to start filtering the tap water, because in the tap water, you've got fluoride and chlorine, and these two components are linked to cancer. I ask people, for example, to start taking a regular trip to the park when they can breathe fresher, because in our homes it's very toxic because of the cleaning product, because of the hairspray, the deodorant, the perfume, the electromagnetic frequencies, the electrical devices, all these, the Wi-Fi. So I give people all this kind of advice so that they can really create a high level of health for themselves. So that basically that's what I talk in my book.
Okay. So why was it important for you to translate the book into French?
Because first of all, I speak French. I'm the official language because I'm originally from the Democratic Republic of Congo, and the official language is French. So I speak French, and that's why when I published the book in English, some of my friends, some of family members, they told me, "Okay, we can't speak English. Can you translate that in French?" And that's why I wanted to really enables people who don't speak English to be able to have the translation in French as well. So that was my reflection behind me translating the book in French.
So, if someone was to, go to, take your 3-step program and, they start doing the plant-based lifestyle, how can they overcome challenges like cravings or social pressures?
Yeah, so like I said, the first thing that people have to do is to change their mindset. So that's the first thing. If they don't change their mindset, it's going to be very difficult. And they need to find very good, they need to implement the why power instead of the willpower, because the willpower can take you so far. But if they can find a good reason for them to stay on track, for example, for me, I remember when I used to be sick, I will have, for example, the flu. I'll be in bed for a week, for 2 weeks. My joint will start aching. I will have banging headaches. I'll have a blocked nose. And just by thinking about that, I would say to myself, okay, Olivier, you need to stay on track. So people need to find a good reason so that they can be able to to have that courage to be on track. For example, if they go to, let's say, to a party, and obviously they will have they will have to find something to eat. So instead of, for example, saying to themselves, okay, I'm just going to try to eat some animal product and stuff like that, they can remind themselves of the damage that this food can do to their health. And this, if they have the mindset, this will be able to keep them on the right path. It's like, for example, me, if I go to a party and, for example, there's nothing that I can eat, I will just stay like that. There's and like I said, I like to fast as well. So maybe that will be an opportunity for me to fast. But usually, when you go to a party, they will still have some kind of salad or something like that. Or if I go to visit some friends or some family members, usually they will ask me, "Okay, Olivier, what do you want to eat?" I will tell them, "Okay, you can cook this or this for me," and stuff like that. So people just need to be able to have the right mindset so that they can really face all this social pressure. Because yes, you will have really, really a lot of social pressure. Because it's like when you start developing all these good habits, some people will find that intimidating, and they will be like crabs when like crabs who are in the same bucket and some of them want to leave, they will be dragged down, and that's usually what people will do. And if you want to adopt a new habit, you will have to develop a good health habit and stuff like that. Usually a lot of people will want you to stay with them to continue to adopt those bad habits, and they will try to drag you down. And if you have a very good mindset, you know why you want to change, and it's going to be very easy to be able to go through that. And that's why, for example, for some family members, when they used to tell me, okay, just eat a little bit of meat and stuff like that, I will tell them, okay, don't put me under pressure. This is my life. If you really love me the way you say it, you need to respect my choices. And with time, now for people, they just know that I don't eat animal product, I don't eat dairy product and most processed food, and they've stopped putting pressure on me. So now people are just used to see me the way I am.
Okay. Okay. So, how I had it pulled up. What was it? Oh, here it is. What have you learned about yourself through your health transformation?
What the stuff that I've learned about myself is that I've been able to see that if I take a decision, I can really stick to it, because it was not easy to be able to face all these family and friends who will put pressure on you and stuff like that. For example, you go and visit them, they will tell you, no, you can just eat a little bit of meat or this. I've been able really, really to be resilient and to be able to stick to all the decisions that I've been able to take. And this has been able as well to I've been able to discover myself because the way I used to live before, now it's like I'm a new person. I've been able to learn about all the medical system, the way it's working, and stuff like that. For example, like I said, I don't take any medication anymore because I know what is beyond. For example, you look at the pharmaceutical industry, it's the biggest industry in the world, and they live off sick people. So there's no incentive for them to give you good health. They will keep you in the loop. And all these medication, they don't address the root cause. They just suppress the symptom. So I've learned all these things. And now I think I am a better person. I am more spiritual. I am more compassionate. I don't kill animals, even in my house. If I see a spider or an ant or a fly, in the past I used to kill them. I've stopped doing all these things. I'm more compassionate to animals and to my fellow human beings, my fellow brothers and sisters.
Okay. That's cool. That's interesting. So, how has your experience as a speaker and coach influenced your approach to health?
Yeah, so the way I see that is that, for example, as a speaker, it's a way for me to be able to really put this message out there because there's a lot of people who don't really know that it's possible to live a disease-free life because we've been told that when we grow older, we need to be sick. We have to be sick. And as a speaker, this is a message that I'm trying to put out there so people have to know that they've got a choice. It's possible to live a disease-free life. They don't have to be sick. Because when I started this plant-based nutrition, I was 46. Today, like I said, at the end of the week, I'll be 55, and my health is getting better and better. And as a speaker, this is a way for me to be able to really propagate this message so people will know that it's possible to live a disease-free life and they don't have to be sick. And as a coach, this gives me the opportunity to really have a one-to-one relationship with all these people so that I can help them to be able to lose weight and to live a disease-free life. Because like I was saying, when I changed my way of eating, there was not a supportive community. I had to fend for myself. But as a coach, I can really be there for all these people. I can show them the way. If, for example, they've got a problem or something like that, because usually when with people I coach, I will give them my private WhatsApp number so that they can call me, they can message me, so that I'm there for them. So that every time if they've got a question or there's something that they're battling, for example, they've got some cravings and stuff like that, they can just give me a quick send me a quick message so that I can encourage them for them to keep on track and stuff like that. So basically, that's what I do as a coach and as a speaker.
Okay. Okay. So, what do you see the future like? What are your future goals for spreading the message of plant based nutrition?
Yeah, so the future is that I would like now, because for the time being, most of the time I'm speaking here in the UK. But now what I would like to do is to start broadening my horizons and speak internationally. And that's, for example, in March in 2025, I've been invited in Singapore to speak at the International Nutrition Research Conference. And I would like to start doing things like that, or to go to the US, go to Australia, New Zealand, and all that. So I would like really to go to all these countries and to really spread this message, because I really, really think that people need to hear that. Because, like I said, for a lot of people, they think that they are, as a victim, they think that maybe I'm getting older. It's normal for me to be sick. And I just want to show people that it's not normal. Even for people, they will tell them that, oh, your disease is genetic. But what people need to understand is that when you can have bad genes, yeah, because I understand that people can have bad genes. But what people need to understand is that you can have bad genes, but the way you eat, the food that you eat will pull the trigger. It's the food that will pull the trigger. So you can have bad genes, but if you eat the food biologically designed for the human mechanism, the genes will stay dormant. The bad genes will stay dormant. But if you start eating the wrong food, it's like you're pulling the trigger, and your health will go haywire. That's why I really want to go internationally to spread this message. And in the future, what I would like to do as well is to build a retreat center where people can come and they can immerse themselves with like-minded people, where I can teach them, or other people will work with me, where we can teach people this plant-based nutrition. They can find themselves with other people because, like I said, if people want to change, it's usually the beginning is very difficult. But if they can come to my retreat center, they can find themselves with like-minded people, so they can start their health journey. And I think this will be a little bit easier for people to embrace this plant-based nutrition. That's my future plan.
Okay. Okay. So, is there anything else that you would like to tell the people before we wrap things up today?
Yes. So what I would like to say to people is that if, first of all, I would like to give your viewers and your listeners my 7 tips to lose weight, which is the same 7 tips that I've used myself to lose weight. And I would like to give them free of charge. So I will give you the link if you can put that in the show notes so people can download that for free. For people as well who would like to buy my book, they can go on Amazon. They can have the book over there, or they can go on my website, which is oliviermankondo.com. That's oliviermankondo.com, or over there they can have my book, which is cheaper, and they will be able to have 4 more bonuses. And for people who would like as well to dive deeper, they can book with me a discovery call. And on the discovery call, we're going to look at their priorities and their health concern. We're going to discuss their diet history and have a look at their current lifestyle, including their routine, their habits. And we will also going to work together to identify any limitations and change them so that we can create a plan of action to overcome this limitation and set them on a path toward achieving their short and longer term goals. And also during the call, we're going to establish if there's a good fit. And if that's the case, then there will be an opportunity to work together so that we can fix these issues once and for all. So basically, that's what I wanted to add. And also, I would like really to say to people that they don't have to be sick. Being sick is a choice. When we are born on this earth, the most important thing that we have, it's our body, it's our temple, and we've only got one. So people need to make sure that they can really take care of their health so that they can have a longer and fruitful life. And they should know that they've got the power to change whatever they want.
I agree. I agree. So, I want to take this time to tell you that I appreciate you coming on the show today to talk about the plant-based nutrition. You know, it's a lot of things that you said that I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't know, including myself. I learned some things as well. So, I definitely appreciate you coming on to share it with the people today.
Okay, thank you very much again for giving me the opportunity to be on your show so that I can be able to help my brothers and sisters. And really thank you very much for that.
Oh yeah, it's no problem. It's no problem. Everybody that's out there watching, you all go to the description or the show notes. You know, get his information. You know, whether it be social media, go to his website, get the 7 steps to lose weight, and then download his book with the 4 free bonuses off his website. You know, it's better than going to Amazon. You know, because you get the bonuses as well. So all that'll be in the description. You guys go support him as much as possible. Thank you all for watching another episode of All in All with Alex, and we'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.
Thank you.